Danny and Q. We're two friends with nothing and everything to say.
And now we're inviting you into the conversation.
Welcome
Welcome to
to
Randomly
Randomly
Speaking.
Speaking.
Okay, welcome to my life.
How you doing?
Welcome to my life.
Welcome to Randomly Speaking. I'm Danny.
And I'm Q. Man, oh man, are you ready for this today, Dan? Are you ready?
I am. I'm ready for.
You're not ready for me, so you just, give me your skinny. What you been up to? Give me the skinny there.
So I mean, I'm living. I'm living. I'm living in the present moments of my life. I'm living in my accomplishments. I am just being me. And people like, oh, I'm authentically me and stuff. I'm
Mhm.
just, the parts of me that some people try to like shove away in the closet, they
Oh, you pulling that out.
they just out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
They out there or whatever. I guess you can say that I'm dating. So
that's good.
I'm like, I'm really truly living. But
Are
with the
you
dating
born
thing,
dating?
yeah, with the dating thing though, like, 'cause so there's like these different camps of stuff, and I'm trying to explain, but then I'm like, why do I have to explain to anybody? It's my life, right? It's like
Mhm.
truly like the last relationship was over well before it was finalized and legally over. You know what I'm saying? But I stayed true to me. I stayed true to the relationship or whatever. I was respectful, and I just, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I was there in that because that's what I signed up for. So to say that I'm ready, free, available, and everything else, yeah, because I was mentally already checked out like over a year ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for all this, it's like I don't have to like get over certain feelings, and it especially works because we have zero communication. There's no
Yeah.
children involved. There's no nothing
Yeah.
involved or whatever. So it's just like I can breathe again,
The
and
dating feels easy.
right, because even during the time of like that last year, actually the last 16 months, whatever, I was busy. I had school,
Yeah.
I had work. I was busy, so I didn't
Yeah.
have time to necessarily always focus on all the bullshit anyway. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I checked out on certain things and everything. But yeah, so I could say I'm dating,
The
you know.
dating is it easy though? Are you in like it feels easy? Does it feel enjoyable? Like
I'm cool. The problem, well, it's not even a problem. It's only a problem if I allow it to be a problem. Is that first of all, I'm one of those like I'm so naive when it comes to people flirting with me. Sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
yeah, you are. You are for sure.
I'll be sitting at home, but like, oh, I think she was hitting on me. You
You only
know,
know you think of it later. I think you think of it later
Right.
when somebody tell you, when somebody asks you, like, so what's up with that? You be like, oh, that was something. Yeah, that was something.
And so it's but like I have somebody who does have my attention, and so
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I'm very vocal about my feelings and my thoughts and everything else. And so I let her know, like, yeah, I do like you, and you right now you have my pretty much my full attention.
Yeah.
I so for me, like say we're dating and stuff, I can't necessarily date multiple people at the same time. I might talk to you or something, but as far as like the entertaining and going out and all that, because for me, I feel like that's too much energy as
Mhm.
far as trying to get to know people and everything else. It's like, am I really fully focused on our conversation right now, or I'm thinking about, you know, whatever. And I don't ever want to compare people to each other because
I
everybody
was
is
gonna say that
different.
it'll feel like when you're with one or the other, it'll feel like you're mentally comparing.
Right. And so I don't want to do that either. So I'm really just enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying the time with someone, and it's slow burn, but I love it. Like doing fun activities and everything where you can really see
Yeah.
some personality and you can talk and, make sure like, yeah, we really vibing or no. But in this process though, there's people who tried to circle back, and it really ain't. It is a reason why. It didn't happen
Oh,
the
like
first.
since you've been single,
Yeah,
it's people trying. Oh, okay.
yeah,
No,
trying to make it work and stuff.
it's all. It seems to always be somebody waiting in the wing. You know, when you're in a
Yeah,
relationship and you get out, which it's unfortunate because a lot of times those people are usually someone you're acquainted with while you're in a relationship. But yeah, I mean, it's normal for people to try to circle back or try to swoon in and get them a spot. But
right,
I think those types of relationships, and it's not saying that anyone's not desirable, but I believe that those types of relationships are usually built on a fantasy that someone has created based off of your relationship with someone else and their
right.
inadequacy. So then they feel like, oh, I would like to have that. Like they might not even thought about it before, but they're like, oh, I would like to have that, and then being your friend, because friendships come with a kind of a, I don't want
Yeah,
to say romantic feeling, but friendships are intimate. Friendships, when you have a friend that you talked about certain things or you allow them a certain level into your life, it's intimate. So when you have a person who attaches that to their envy or them looking at your other relationship from the outside, they may find themselves wanting that, not even knowing, the innards.
right.
Because I only know you based on my experience and what you've told me. Like I haven't been in your house 7 days a week to know that you could be a complete asshole at home while I'm over here fantasizing about having the life that you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like, I just clean up well.
Yeah, I think I think that'd be the problem with
Yeah,
folks with the people who are looking at you like now they're like, oh, you back on the market, let me get that. And you like, damn, we was friends. We been friends this whole time. What's up? What's
yeah.
up?
But because I've even had that, like some will tell me like you look at you wasting all your time, all this time on these other relationships and spending all this money on them and everything else, and you could have had me. You could have been. I was like, oh, you wanted my check or you wanted me? Like you wanted you. Could you see the stuff that we did? And so is that what you want, or do you really truly want me? Because man, I'm
Because
not.
you be like, why wasn't this a factor before?
Man,
You're
yeah.
like, man, tell me, you could have had you. Obviously, you didn't want them because they was available before. So it's like,
It's just there's reasons. There's reasons why. So it's not even like like location could be one, but even just and so sacrifices come into play. And anybody who knows me, you know me. When have I sat still ever? This is gonna be the longest I sit still, and that's I finally bought a house, and I love the
you
vibe.
bought a place to make you sit still.
Yeah, well, and like the vibe check, everything else for
Yeah.
me is great. And I've circled back to Texas a couple times. I was born in Texas. And so circling back or whatever, clearly something keeps pulling me back to Texas. And so I'm here, and I love the area that I'm in and everything else. But so it's reasons why we didn't work. And then one of them, I see no progress over the years, and they keep talking about I'm healed and changed and working on me. You shouldn't have to tell me if changes have been
Yeah.
made. I will see it.
As
I
friends.
get so offended when I point something out, and it's not that I'm pointing out like, oh, that's
Yeah.
your flaw. No, because I'm truly, truly not perfect by
Right.
any means. But if I know that that's a red flag, whatever, and it ain't gonna work for me,
Yeah.
I'm letting you know. Like
Well,
one of
man,
the
we friends.
yeah, one of the conversations, you know what I'm saying? And let's keep it 100. I was like, I've been standoffish because you're in the midst of a transition. You know,
Yeah.
I thought I was being nice by saying it like that and everything, and it's not a lie. It's not, but I thought I was being
Yeah.
nice. Um, checked with another friend. They're like, "Oh, you're an asshole for saying that." I was like, I thought I was. But see, again, this is my neurodivergent mind or whatever. I thought I was being nice, and so their comeback to me,
Oh, I thought that was nice.
apparently not. Their comeback to me was the person I said it to was, "Well, you're in a transitional phase too, and I don't let that stop me, or I'm not offended by that or whatever." And I'm like, define transition. I was like, I've been moving my entire life, so for me to move and adapt, that's not really a transitional phase for me. And I was like, as far as my last relationship, that had been over, and there's no ties or anything else. Then I'm okay, you know?
Yeah.
So when I say transitional, like, and that just goes into another topic that we'll hit later or whatever.
But hold up now. I want to know though. Now I need to skin it. Don't we? So
Oh,
I get so I get so caught up in your life because I don't have one. So
whatever, man.
you telling me that a comparison of you simply having growth and doing newer, bigger, better things is the transition comparison that they're using? Because you
And
okay.
so I'll keep it.
I'm assuming this other person's transition is more of a like a life thing, like they're still building in life, like they still trying to
Yeah,
find themselves,
yeah,
right? So that said, that for them, that was very clean way you said it, because you could have said, and I'm gonna tell you, everybody said they can say that's rude or whatever. That's because the world just want everybody to fucking put every ice on everything. But this is what you could have said. You could have said, well, where you are in life, you still trying to figure out yourself, and I'm more established, and I don't want someone who hasn't found themselves yet, because I've already been too selfish. I was
I was too
I was
selfless
already too
before.
selfish. I was
Selfless.
already too selfish in my last relationship when I did not wait for my partner to find themselves.
Oh yeah,
I didn't allow my partner to spend years finding himself.
right. That still hits like what? Like
That
you're
was like,
mad at
oh, I'm using that against you for the rest of your life, bro.
you're mad at me
I
because
I'm telling
I
you,
didn't
Danny,
give
I'm
you.
using that against you for the rest of your life. Like, let me see you. Let me see you when you get serious with somebody. You start courting them. I'm gonna be like, You know, she's not gonna wait for you to get yourself together for years.
That was like I was like, hold up, I gave you some years,
That made me mad, child.
everything you
I know
asked
you was
for.
over it.
Man, look, if you said you wanted to be a food vendor, I would have got you a food cart. That's the type of stuff that I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
You were, man. When
Anything. And then
you
you tell
popped
me,
out like every couple of months, you literally popped out with like, this is what we doing, this is what we doing. It was like, oh, she want to do this, this what we doing. So when you was at your point of like, I'm over this, this is whatever, I don't care what she say. When she said that, I was mad all over again. What
yeah,
she
like
wait
how
for you
dare
to
you
find
not
yourself for
wait?
years?
Like
You said you had found
you
yourself
shouldn't
in
wait for
me.
me to get it together. And so like some people might think this is weird, but I've done this one first because I was like, I don't know what's gonna come of it. And you always gotta have receipts, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna like, I don't know how to do it, but save the text thread, stream, whatever,
Yeah.
print it out, whatever I need to do from that, especially for that last little bit, the mood swings, everything in there,
Yeah.
and me questioning like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, like other people started witnessing stuff because I'm in front of other people, such as you, and my phone is going off crazy. And you like, you're not gonna respond. I don't have anything to say right now. And it's stuff like I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been dealing with or whatever. And so when she would look me straight in the face, like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm like, you literally just said 2 seconds ago. So, but yeah, that took the cake. That was like one of the last conversations via text or whatever. Like you're
Yeah.
mad because I didn't wait longer for you to figure out
Basically,
life. Like
man,
we're
that wasn't even the plan. I don't care what you say. That was not the plan. The
it,
plan
it wasn't
was for you to eventually give up on asking them to do better and just taking care of them.
yeah,
That's
probably
what that
because
was.
everything to me, I feel like it was just a facade. Like if I
Yeah.
just do this right here, you think that I'm doing something for real. And then
Yeah.
always blaming me about why you didn't really want to do something. Well, then why are you doing it?
The thing is
Like
though,
I feel like I'm the
why you didn't go on your own venture? Like, why didn't you come home with results of something you wanted to do and chose for yourself? Like, you didn't do
yeah,
that shit on your own.
but I
You
man,
spent some money.
I know I wasn't crazy when the therapist sat there in front of both of us and told me just to stop. Just stop. Like let her figure it out. Like stop. You're too accommodating. You're too, you know. And this is a therapist you chose, so you can't even be like, "Oh, the therapist on your side because you chose this therapist." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were to accommodate, but as your friend, you know what I'm saying, I support all you do for the most part.
And
You
that's why
supported
you
me.
are a peaceful friend.
You supported me through my shit. I tell people all the time, say my friends did not say, "Hey, dummy, don't do that." They was like, "Hey,
I
dummy, when you done with that, I got you." You know what I'm
Are
saying?
you okay? Like I had to just make sure I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, it was like, "Hey,"
Nobody in jail. Ain't nobody like, are you okay? Like,
and that's because I realized this. I said my friends know, and I could be speaking out of turn, but I don't feel like I am. I was like, my friends know I'm gonna do what I want to do.
yeah,
And I think that they have decided that I'm gonna do what I want to do. So either to be her friend, I'm gonna have to, check in or just accept this fact or whatever, and that's it. Because one thing I never asked I've never come to anyone and been like, "Oh, do you think I should stay? Do you think I should go? Do you think that I did this?" I'm like, man, I might be like, I said this, you think that was a little too cold. But other than that, it was never like the big decisions on whether to go, whether to stay, should I bury the body. It was none of that. You know what I'm saying? It was always like, hey, that's happening. That's crazy, man. So we going to the party or not? Because I just felt like, you know what I'm saying, we wasn't about controlling each other's lives. Everyone has been about support. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Figuring out your way, and I'm gonna be here as much as you want support for it. Like, and
Right, and that's really what it is. Because like I feel like sometimes people think, yeah, you can express your opinion and stuff with your friends,
yeah,
but there's like sometimes enough is enough because we're all human beings. We're only gonna move when we want to move. We're gonna move how we want to move when we're ready to make that move. So you can punch me in my face every day and be like, you need to get up out of there or whatever. But
yeah,
until I'm ready to get up out of there, I'm gonna come to you, get my punch, and go back and cuddle up until I'm ready to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly. That's exactly it.
you have to just be a supportive friend in that, hey, like if you need me, I'm here. Tell me what you need. Sometimes it just might be just to listen, to vent. And that's why I think it's so funny because you like, my friend, I know this is like the 15th time I done told you I'm out of here, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to come get you, whatever, got my stuff packed up. And then 2 hours later, what are you doing? Oh, we're going to the movies, whatever.
Yeah.
We're going on a trip, And so that's the way to be a supportive friend. Let them know what's up. You don't ever want anybody in danger, of course, but all the extra and the talking bad about the friend and everything else, and calling somebody weak. If you ain't been in it, you can't.
I think what is the worst part is when people. I think if I had been overly opinionated of your relationship or anybody's really, that gives them no sounding board. That doesn't give that shuts them out from having someone to even vocalize those experiences so they can hear it, because even if I was coming to you saying like, hey, this happened, I got slapped yesterday and this, that happened. Me telling you also allows me to hear it, allows me to kind of feel it again, and also what it feels like to tell it. Sometimes the feeling you get from telling another person what you're going through is those little snaps and slaps in the face to say, is this the life that I want to live? Is this what I want? And then when I have to come tell you a third time and a fourth time, those times continue to chip away at your like, hey, you know what? You need to do better,
Yeah.
But what forces you with the person is when you don't have anyone to just support you through your shit. Like, I'm making a bad decision. I'm not saying I'm doing crack or something, you know what I'm saying? But even if I was doing crack and I wasn't stealing from you and I wasn't asking you for $10 and I wasn't asking you for a ride, then me being able to come around you and just socialize with you a little bit can make the difference on whether I stop doing it or not, compared to if you be like, oh, you're a crackhead, man. I can't be around
you. Are you ready to get help? Are you ready to stop?
You can't ride in my car because I'm scared you're gonna steal my quarters. But
that too. And you can't borrow my car either because you might forget the crumb or something and leave it behind. But
and you might not bring my car back.
we'll use Uber together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm still your friend. And
Yeah.
that's what I feel like came out of like so many of these situations. We remained friends through our mess. Like, before, we both been married before. It wasn't like perfect example. I had got separated before in my last marriage. I actually separated. Oh, me and you talked. I don't know, act like you don't know. When I moved to Georgia the first time,
Yeah.
I flew alone with the kids. We were separated, got my own place and everything. I went to a family get together at one of my uncle's house, and I let this thieving, conniving, dirtbag ass uncle say to me and stick with me, I don't know why anybody would marry you, because I was separated, because he said that I leave, I don't give people a chance. Like, I quit, I leave at, anything,
Right.
because I had been married twice before. Now, true enough, this person has no idea about my previous relationships, because once I left home, I was home. My family, like, they met them, but they don't know anything. Like,
Yeah.
my family wasn't in my life like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how did I let that stick with me? So for a lot of longest time, I did not want to be divorced again. Like, I did not want to quit again. I didn't want to fail again. And I used to say that all the time. Like, I'm not going to quit again. I'm not going to fail at this. Years and years of that. And the crazy part of it is, you wouldn't even believe how early in our marriage that was.
I believe you because we have so many like similar experiences. I believe you because this was my third, and I was like, it will not fail. Now, don't get me wrong. The shitty part or the bad part is like we got into marriages that we knew we shouldn't have got into.
Yeah.
But just about immediately, I knew like, oh, I really shouldn't be here. And I held on for so freaking long because I'm like, there's got to be a way for this to work. There's got to be a way for this person to change. Like, just even a little bit.
I did not make the wrong decision 3 times.
But the thing is, and this is whole nother, for me, I figured out why I was so impulsive with the decisions that I had made, as far as getting married and everything else, or why I kind of, I'm not gonna say let somebody talk me into it because I could have said no several times, but just
Yeah.
why. And that some of that was childhood trauma, some of that, ADHD. That actually
Yeah.
punches a kick with a whole lot
Oh,
of
absolutely.
behaviors that you just have no idea. And so because I was not diagnosed until adulthood, now I have to go back and look at everything. You know what I'm saying? I have to reevaluate everything. So when I say like I'm just upfront with you now, I'm telling you how I feel, whatever. And I think I'm, being nice about it and stuff. If I hurt your
Yeah.
feelings, then I hurt your feelings. But at the end of the day, I have to say I can't afford to mess this up again.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess this up again. It's too stressful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you red flag, if I see some flag on a place or whatever, yeah, you're out. Like
Right.
there's no point in even what if anything
There's no
else.
point in convincing yourself.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
and that's when I go into talking about like dating for potential,
Yeah.
like man, look, you you can have all the potential in the world and that's great. And I'm excited for you and I'm happy for you that you have all the potential in the world. But are your actions matching that potential that you
Yeah.
have? What are you doing to reach your full potential? And if I don't see that, there's really nothing for us to talk about. Why are we still talking? You're wasting my time and you're wasting your time. And
Yeah.
I feel like for me, and this is not to my own horn, and I don't think I'm the best thing since sliced bread, but I know what I bring to the table.
Right.
I know who I am as a person. We're not just talking about accomplishments, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna love you in your dirty drums,
Yeah.
whatever. If I say I'm with you, if we together, I 100% will pour into you. You know what I'm saying? Even sometimes on my empty days, I'm still trying to make sure you're okay. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So knowing all that and knowing how hard I work and everything else, I feel like it's kind of messed up, and it's a fucked up thing for you to come to me and think that we could have any semblance of a healthy relationship when you
Yeah.
out here just willy-nilly and knowing the type of person that I am. If you know me,
Yeah.
if say you know me and you know me, I
I
think
mean, but
that
even meeting you, people will know whether when you meet someone and get to have enough conversation or whatever, or ask some decent questions, you know whether you and them align. And I'm not saying that this person has to have what you have, do what you do, but you know what I mean? Like it
right.
makes a person even has desires in life, and if they're a good person, because it's not just about what you have, but like compassion,
Yep.
empathy, just the natural decency of humanity. Those things come out early in a relationship if you ain't hopping right in the bed with somebody, because we're usually sex is what clouds our
Right.
judgment. You know, we get that first few fuzzies with them, and then we're like, damn, I'm trying to smash, because it's hot initially, and depending on where you are in that area, it clouds how you behave with them. One, because you don't want to sleep with someone and then afterwards bring up their red flag because it looks like you just used them, but it's like, no, I really just saw this part of you afterwards, or you saw it before or saw something before, ignored it, let the smash happen, realized the smash did not make that thing
go away
any less terrible, so you want out. And naturally, I tell people, once you smash, the ability to act like you enjoy a person goes away.
Good. Like you've had every part of them now. Like
it's just like
masturbating.
When you get it, you like, damn, I'm a dirty little somebody. You know what I'm saying? But before you like, oh shit, I got to play. Then you like, and it's the same with people. Like, ain't nothing else missing now, and you ain't even that good looking no more. You don't just the conversation is kind of crappy. You know?
Everything. And it's just like, I don't know, man. And like some people like, well, if somebody is working hard, and that's the difference. I get it. You meet somebody and both of y'all on y'all hustle, whatever, and y'all trying to go somewhere in life, but you still compliment each other even in the hustle and all that. But I get that part. When I say dating for potential, I'm not talking about someone who out here grinding, like getting this is just stuff you floating around. Ideas you got, you have all these ideas and I'm feeding into, but nothing comes to fruition. You know what I'm saying? And 3 years later,
you don't want somebody who in the grind either. And it's not because you can't respect the hustle, but it's also fair to not want to be in the grind with someone because, and a lot of people feel like they miss out. Like if someone meets you, they might enjoy your looks, your conversation, and they think like, well, in reality, if they don't have their shit together, they still are less inclined to be realistic about that because they don't want to miss out on you. But if you think about it, every good looking person, every great individual you meet, the timing still can be wrong, and they're just not for you.
Right.
You are not for them because you're in a place where, even though you're more established. Like right now, if you decided to never do any other ventures in life again, you're more established than a person who's like, I wanna eventually get to the point where I have the money to buy a home and I want to start a new career. Because if you met a person right now who was just starting a new career, let's say similar to you, you was in school that amount of time, right? You had no time for dating. You didn't.
Right.
And people do that same thing and try to squeeze in a social life and try to squeeze in dating. And so you get this substandard version of a person while you got all day to do whatever. You're limiting yourself to this person who's back in the grind. Now you got to support someone that you just started to get to know through their grind. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of work. And who's the hell to say they're gonna come out of it, successful, or are you dealing with a person who is, because this is new for them, this might not work out and they got to do something new again. So now you met somebody who is in start over time. Perfect example is me and you.
Mm-hmm.
I just so the world knows, I'm not trying to date you, you're not trying to date me.
Right.
You know, because you know what I'm saying.
Like,
I already know the allegations are coming. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
anyway,
for sure.
But, my example, like when I tell people, like folks, like, oh, you want to date? I really don't, because I don't have anything to offer someone. And so someone will be like, oh, you are nice and you this is that, you got something to offer. I don't, because I'm in a place where I'm trying to be out of an apartment and into my own home. I want to start a brand new thing in life. And number 3 is I don't have something to tell, like people, someone meeting me right now will want to know, like, who are you? What do you do in life? I'm a mother every 2 weeks.
Yeah, mother on a schedule.
I was at home all day today, and I had no desire to do anything other than that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a date, a person's a dating mentality. You know, it's not just about who, if you're a nice person and all that. You gotta have shit to bring to the table. If I met a man right now, he would meet someone who either you paying for dinner or we're not going out. Goddamn it, I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's not fair. You don't go out and meet people when you at your, and I'm not at my lowest, so it's hard to explain because I sound like a bum to a regular person. But
see, because I know better, so I'm gonna speak on your behalf right now, because you're not a bum, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can pay your bills and everything, whatever. You just might not you might not be doing something that you necessarily want to do or whatever, or you figuring out whatever.
I just ain't in my shit right now, you know?
Yeah, but this is your season right now to do that. You've earned that season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Government giving you a check, whatever.
Right.
So it's like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
And then like, so my stuff is like when I say hustle or I'm trying a new venture, but I always maintain like employment that's gonna pay the bills and pay the bills well enough for us to take trips and everything else. And so I feel like, especially when you have no kids at home and stuff, and what's stopping you from hustling too? What's stopping you from maintaining some kind of something while you try to figure out the next best dream? Because then I feel like now both of you can focus on something else too, because you know the basics are covered. You know, no one person is being dependent upon to cover everything while y'all out here trying to make dreams. But like, see, that's something else with dating now too, and like it's the conversation for me too, like legitimate conversation and seeing, you know, like I said, the actions match the words and stuff. What are we talking about? Are we talking about shared goals and everything else? Because no, I'm not finished as far as like what I want to accomplish and where I want to go.
Yeah.
So I love that, you know, and one of my people's, you know, it wasn't even something I had to say or do. It just fell in line. That's when I was like, okay, you got to pay attention to the signs too. And like, did God send me this person? Because this wasn't even a meeting of, you know, we intentionally were up here on some dating site or anything else. God happened to put us in each other's path, you know, like literally or whatever. But like the conversation flow for the future and everything else, it's just in alignment, you know. We like the same stuff, and we both goofy and smart, and you know, got our own shit together and stuff. And it's okay, you know. No one feels intimidated because somebody got this or that or anything else, you know.
And you don't have to be the same.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. So it's all motivation, and that's the thing too, is people have always told me, oh, you know, that I've been in relationships with. Oh, in the beginning, it's, oh, you're such a motivator, and you motivate me so much, and I just want to live my best life, you know. And then by the end of it, you do too much, you know, you do too much and everything else. But the flip side of that is, what about me? I need motivation too. You know, and so one of them tried to just be like, because one day I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like doing anything today. And Like, well, you need to get up because you got a lot to get done. And, are you going to just sit here and just let life pass you by? And, gave me a speech and stuff. And I'm sitting here like, it didn't resonate with me because I'm like, well, if I saw you actually doing stuff in your life, that's what I'm talking about by motivation. That's what I'm talking about by motivation. And I knew when I came out here, like there was going to be certain ventures like this podcast and everything else that I wanted to get into and actually pursue. And, I got to relaunch my books and stuff, yes, I'm going to give you the information for that to help me with that. Thank you.
I feel you. Don't you worry. PTSA texting me, so I can't even be mad at you for not sending me some shit right now.
Right. It might get lost in amongst all your PTSA stuff. But like, so I'm looking at this person and they don't have to say, hey, did you do this? It's just motivating to see them hustle, And I'm like, it's a refreshing feeling. It's like, wow, I knew there were people out here like this. I knew that, and you can still have fun and stuff, and our kind of fun. It ain't, I'm not a clubber. I'm just not. That's not ever gonna be on my top 10 list of things. What do you want to do today? Go to a club. That's just not gonna be on my list of stuff. And so yeah, potential. No, I'm over it. And
basically, can't nobody coach you from the bench.
You said what?
I said basically, can't nobody coach you from the bench.
Yeah, you can't coach me from the bench. I'm not interested in your potential. Like I wish you well. I wish you the best of luck in everything that you're doing. But as for me and where I am in life, I'm ready to play. Yeah. And in order to play, you got to set some things up. If we're not having conversations like that, and we're not having conversations about other, there's nothing really
in the balance of play. Because one thing I think that many are forgetting, you may see someone playing, like folks may be like, oh, you ain't doing nothing all day, Right. In reality, if I don't sit down for 4 hours some of these days and get some stuff done, won't be no play. So I don't play all day. What it might think the 10 minutes of play that you get to see, or a couple hours you see me playing, you're not seeing the other 20 hours of work that had to be done to get there.
And people miss that too, and that's something else.
That part.
I put it out there. Like I say, I'm finished with school, but I'm in nursing now, and there are certain things. If you don't want to remain bedside, so what are you doing with your time and everything else? And I got somebody encouraging me, like, oh, you want to do this, do that. And so my idea is, because I'm like, I might not stay as an RN. I might become an MD. The school time frame and everything else. So I'm looking at my options right now before I get too deep into it, because I'm not 20 years old anymore. Yeah. But I got somebody who encouraged me, like, that's cool, that's what's up, like whatever.
And someone, and it's good you have someone that that even if they aren't involved, they are simply interested.
Right.
Like I have zero interest in your job, and you know why. I have interest in
too every now and then when I'm on a I am.
Oh my goodness. Don't make me fly. Don't make me fly out there just to be bad at you. How bad was the photo? I got on a plane and I went to her house.
I'm like, we friends, right? We friends, right? You like my sister, man. I thought I should share this moment with you. Share what I'm doing.
I really like to know, like, in people in general, like what your experience is and more about what you think of it and like your knowledge part. Like I like when you were studying and you tell me something like, damn, when you those words, it made sense. Mm-hmm. I don't remember it, trust me, but when you were studying and you was like, oh, this is make it up. It's the chief artery. And then you'll be like, oh, that goes with the cheek. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. If I was, that would make sense to me. I like those parts. The visuals, no. The so many words about what's facts, no. But I think that is better than that generic, oh, okay, that's good, but don't really give a shit about you. And you got this spouse that's just hanging around while you're becoming a nurse, and when you have that type of balance in your dating life and your social life or whatever, it feels better. It's more, it gives you, and I'm not saying that's the only way for you to keep going, but it gives you it makes it less of a job because now it's a part of your community. Because if you couldn't talk to me about nursing, then you have to shut that part of your life off, which is such a big part. That would be unfair because it wouldn't feel good. If every time you talk to me about nursing and I just gave you some bullshit like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, I'm glad you were being a nurse. You know, the cliche, oh, congratulations, you're a nurse. Oh, if that's all I gave you, you wouldn't be able to talk about nursing with me. And if I'm the person you're around the most, or you talking to, or you desire to talk to, then it will leave you alienated.
It would, and then that's another good cool thing too. Is like because even talking about different career fields and stuff within the medical field and everything, whether it be nursing or becoming an MD and stuff, they understand. They know what I'm talking about, and so they're not even in that field. You know what I'm saying? And then like with their career and stuff, they can talk to me and ask me questions and stuff, and we can have a conversation. Like you need help.
Yeah, you wouldn't date the person who, oh gosh, I don't want to say that.
Look, it is what it is. This is randomly speaking. So what?
I just wouldn't see you dating the guy who just learned to read. You know what I'm saying?
But why do I feel like I've dated those people before? Like I'm not. Look, y'all.
You know the guy on TikTok who he learned to read. He started during the pandemic, and then right now he's reading on a 5th grade level, which I don't know why it's taking years because he's been on TikTok for years doing this reading thing. But
you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him, so I don't.
Congratulations to you if you ever run across our podcast. I ain't hating. I just don't understand why it's taking. Oh, I guess that makes sense because it takes you years, and he's on a 5th grade level. And okay, so I guess he's on track.
So actually, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Every year.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it's like those things matter. When my son dated a girl who had never.
People shouldn't get offended because you don't want to date them because you know what I'm saying?
Just because you notice that your mental level is different because it's a hard conversation. It's like dating a person who don't speak the same language as you, and you're trying to still like make it work, or a person with. And I know people do it, but imagine dating I can't say. Oh yeah, dating. You remember how deep the accent was for the people in Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Like how deep, like they can speak English, but at the same time, you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Like it's a hard conversation all the time. And if you date a person who just doesn't have the same basic level of knowledge, because I'm not talking about college educated, I'm not talking the basic level of knowledge for the world for whatever age we're at. That is difficult. And I think it's hard for people to understand that your environment may have stunted your growth. So you don't know what you don't know. And you don't know what you don't know, but it's not fair to blame me for not wanting to be with a person or be with a person who don't know, you know?
Yeah, because then like my lash used to always be like, oh, you call me stupid. No, I didn't call you stupid. And like then it just became a thing. And she's just like, you just don't understand how I talk because we're from different places. And I'm like, it's more to it than that. Because I've been all over the world and I've lived in many different places. I've lived in country bumpkin in Wausau, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Where at one point
I was just telling the North Carolinians you ain't mean that.
No, but I'm saying that's that's my first stomping grounds for real. You know, after Texas besides being more, I love it, and you know whatever. I got family there still. But what I'm saying is like I've been to country places, I've been to city places, I've lived overseas, you know, as a child and as an adult. This has been my entire life.
You worked with people who
and work with people. So no, it's not the understanding that type of communication barrier that we had, you know, and I felt like I've really my vocabulary now sometimes I'm disappointed in myself. Because I feel like I've dumbed it down so much sometimes. And then even still, people like, I don't know what you're saying, and why are you using that word? And it's not really a big word. Like I can use the word potential or whatever, or intellect. That was a big thing, using the word intellect.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah, I used the word intellect, and they kept saying I was calling them stupid. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. Like that's not what it means. But then they'll get mad because I'm like, can I read you the definition of what intellect
And
is?
see, and that right, and see, that's the, in fairness, that's the those are the things in dating and meeting someone that as a whole we don't really talk about, because we do get, oh, this person makes this much money, they do this for you and do that for you, but can I sit down and have a conversation? Another one is, am I gonna laugh? And I
Yeah,
ain't talking about,
my humor
I'm
is
not
different.
talking about your formal jokes, like your like real humor in relationships is the ones that come from nothing, like
Right.
the dumbest shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, so if we don't have that basic interaction, like you said, I love you in your dirty draws. I always tell people, I will love you in a cardboard box. Like we can live, if I can love you living under a bridge, we in there, you know.
Right.
And because I know that I could love a person in the lowest of levels, but if we can't talk, you know, basic conversation, then it's nothing for us. If I can't say to you that, you know, I feel like you're not speaking to me intellectually, you
Yeah.
know, as a date person you're dating or a spouse, that shouldn't offend you as much as it says, hey, I want you to step your game up. You are lowering yourself. I think you're better, but I feel like you're presenting yourself as a
And
lower
that's the
quality.
whole thing. If you tell me that you want to be a certain person, if you tell me that this is something that you ascribe to be something, whatever it is, and if I'm helping you, then why is it like a slap in the face later? You know, I'm only giving you what you asked me for and what you told me. I'm basing all this off of what you told me. You know, and then it became, well, you trying to make me into somebody? No, because then they said, well, I was trying to be this person when we first met. I said, well, I only know who you presented to me. Like I don't know you as anybody else. So how was that my fault that you created this persona that cracked immediately, almost immediately, you know,
Yeah.
after I do's and stuff. Like, I don't know that you're not being you until that I
Yeah.
know that you're not being you. You know,
Yeah.
like I trust you until I don't trust you.
Yeah.
And you know, people just gotta
And in
understand.
some instances, we cloud our judgment too. We talked about that already in this.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this whole like you got to be able to like basic communication is definitely and definitely in humor. Like people think because I'm always doing this, I love to have fun. I love to laugh. Um, even in the midst of something, I'm like, you know, if I'm
Yeah.
not laughing for real, you know, laughing for me is not it's not sitting here gossiping. I'm not a gossip
Right.
type person. That's not what's funny. Somebody else's distress is not what's funny to me. Like,
Right.
you know, so let's talk about something different. But I get it. So in this phase of my life and date, I'm just more vocal and more open. And I'm happy for the slow burn or whatever. Because some people are like, oh, lesbians and females, y'all quick to be in, out, whatever and stuff, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. I've had people move in day two, you know, not day two, but
I
close to
mean, shit, I dated a married quick too, so I can't even say
yeah.
nothing. And them was all men. Every last one of them was men. Every
But
last one of them was men. But
I'm gonna enjoy this process. I am. People's feelings get hurt along the way. It's not intentional, but I can't settle for something that's not good for me.
I
And
think that's the best way.
and I already know what's good for me. I already know what I'm looking for. I know what I want, you know. And so I'm gonna nurture those relationships more than anything. And that's with friendships too, you know. This is
Yeah.
not even just about like dating, just friendships too. Um
But dating is the big one because y'all kind of stuck with me at this point. I don't really see none of my friends might lose a few. They might fall off, but other than that, I
yeah.
don't. Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure. And I really do want, and that's something that I've lacked, is I want my friends and whoever I'm dating and stuff to be able to come together, you
yeah.
know. I ain't got kumbaya, but I
Right.
need there to be some kind of like
It not
You
to be
know,
like a separation of church and state all the
right? I
time.
don't want to have to separate every. I don't want to feel like I'm on eggshells just to make. I need somebody
Yeah,
like you trust me. You trust me. Like these are my friends, and this is just how crazy we are. Whatever. You know.
yeah.
Like
Me. Well,
see, I talked it up. I talked it up.
you did. And you text me about this parenting thing, but I really like the fact that you're dating and not. And for one, I live kind of through you, with getting to hear about people in their dating life, and excuse me, but
Get it
also
out, man. Get it out.
I think that like learning, I'm hearing and getting to talk through the lessons with you, because one thing is, it may not have been necessary, but it seems like it was necessary that we had to go through those previous situations to understand what we understand now. And it's
Right.
not because we couldn't have learned it otherwise, but due to our upbringings and the values we held so near and dear. And I know we about to close this out, but this is what I think about it. We both know that the loyalties were very toxic due to being raised by people that was, hey, I can mistreat you, but you still must love me. I
Yep.
can mistreat you because you rely on me. And so you learn to adapt yourself for survival. And I know people hear survival and it feels like, how bad was it? But
Right.
your level of survival at whatever your level of living is what it is. So for you, you may not have been living in the slums and the projects, but you had someone around you that was regularly pulling at your self-esteem, regularly treating you like they were entitled to your mental well-being and using that as a tool to control you. And because you were a child, you learned to it when your brain was forming and you was a child, so you learned to adapt to that, and you learned that was what love and care and these things looked like. Not saying that was the whole picture, because I know you had loving moments. You had someone around you that cared and loved you. You had this perfect example of your grandmother, but that does not change the fact that you also had the other examples that say,
Right.
hey, I people who love you sometimes may hurt you and you still got to deal with it. People who supposed to love you may sometimes do things that hurt you, but it's not the end all. That thing we talked about with like child abuse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
child does not know they're being abused if it's in an environment they were born
Right.
into.
They
Like
think that's normal.
until someone shows them that's wrong,
Yeah.
they don't know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of us, we did not. No one in their life ever was like, "You whipped me, I'm calling the cops."
Yeah. Look,
They was getting their
Ian
ass
told
up
me.
until they was 5 years old, and then they went to school. And then when they
Ian
get to
someone
school at
told me.
5 years old, school said getting ass whoopings is wrong. Then you came home and you was like, school said you're not supposed to whip me. And then what happened? You got your ass whipped again. But at the end of
I
the
told
day,
you, my little friend Ian, my little white friend Ian, when I was in elementary, he saved my life from.
but see that, and yeah, and that's the
I
thing.
didn't know. I went outside to play. They beat you, let you go outside and play. I went
Yeah.
outside to play, and I had on a skirt or something that day. So I don't even know how I was allowed to go outside and play with a skirt on, because that wasn't allowed either. So stuff was just messed up that day.
Yeah.
Little
Right.
Ian was like, "What's going on?" Oh, I just got beat or whatever. And he looking because I got welts on my legs and stuff. And he was like, "You're not supposed to. That's
You
not."
say, hell no, we calling the law.
We walked to that police station around the corner. We sure did. Ian took me with. I don't even know if he told his parents. We're in elementary school.
But you know what? You got lucky for where you was at. Cause if you was in a civilian sector, somebody
Yeah,
would have beat you in him.
yeah. Because they couldn't and so that's the thing too, because both of my parents were in the military. And so like my stepdad wouldn't even come get me. My mom came. She walked around the corner to the police station and get me after they took my picture and stuff, like you know. She came to get me, and she mean mugged me the whole way back to the house. And then we sat down and had dinner or whatever. But that mother, excuse my language, He never put his hands on me again. I never had to feel the wrath of his belt, his hands around my neck with me up against the wall, whatever. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what though?
Because of Ian.
That said, and that right there was, and this is the kicker about it. 2 lessons was learned there. And that you learned right from wrong in that moment. So you learned then, like, oh, that's not right. Whipping my ass ain't right. Doing those things are not right. So that went into your child brain. And yeah, you saved it and you knew it. But your mom picking you up and y'all just going back home and just living life also told your brain, oh, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't even tell you, it didn't even send like a little message that from your mom, like, oh, we're on the same team. That was wrong. I'm also in a bad situation where I'm scared to handle it. It basically said, oh, because I don't care what nobody say, no matter what relationship you got with your mom, if you know her and you spend any time with her, the connection is there. So her behaviors still tell your brain something. Y'all share a very close part of DNA and brain. And so her picking you up, not saying nothing, you going on about your life. Yeah, true enough. He never did anything else again, but it was not because your mother came in as a savior. It was because the outside entity gave him a fear. And he never came to you and said, that was wrong. I'll never do that again, right?
No, because what he did do and what it did change is now the mental abuse kicked up a whole nother notch. And so now you just destroying me with your words and everything else and telling me what a fuck up I am and everything is my fault. And just all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, the physical stopped, but now the mental abuse took over. And so and I was young. Like I said, I was in elementary school, And so
that's so as a child being in these situations where essentially love hurts, we grow up accepting that love hurts until it hurt too much for us. As a child, your pain threshold for love is higher. And it may sound crazy, but you have no control over your environment. So you just accept it. You just take it. Some kids don't even get to cry because they're unhappy, so whatever the parameters of your adaptation is, you deal with that. So if you're a kid who don't get to show emotions, then you become a kid who doesn't show emotions, but then you become an adult. And if you learn to become more self-aware, which I feel like we have over the years, it's easier for us to make those distinctions of like, no, you know what? No, this is not someone who is loving me. This is hurting me. This is not just like we going through things feel rough. This is painful, and this is something I don't like. And we found the voice to say, I don't like it. And it's powerful when we do, right? And I know we're over time. I know we're over time, but the crazy thing about it is it's powerful when we do, but we still have that delay. And I think these last situations close the gap on the delay. And
it did for sure. Because
without being extra long-winded on it, I'm saying like it took me over a decade on the last situation. But in reality, from the time that I made the decision in the time of executing it was very short compared to, previous times. And the same with you. It was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Yeah, true enough. You did ask yourself and question yourself. We all do, but you did not sit and excuse it anymore. You stopped excusing it. You stopped placing, well, I did this and I did that, which were all things that come from being raised that way, where you're at fault for me treating you this way. It's your fault that I abused you. It's your fault that I said these mean things to you. It's you. And now we have closed that gap. And I like that for us. I love it for you because I'm getting to see you do this dating thing. And it's fun. It's fun to talk about it with you, but it really is like inspirational to see you not let you didn't let the last situation become another hurdle, another traumatized, another thing that holds you down. You said, all right, you know what? I went through this thing and this is the lesson I learned from it.
For sure.
And I'm gonna go forward. Not saying that now we foolproof. I'm not saying you
No,
foolproof.
not at all.
You get played, but
Yeah.
you have your outlook and the way you're looking at things are differently now when you date. I'm pretty sure when men and women talk to you now, I'm not saying you analyzing them, but you don't, the rose color everyone in the world is it has my best interest. That shit is gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right. For sure. Like I said, I'm truly action. Like, what are your actions telling me? What are the conversations telling me, and everything else? And then one of the things that I've done as well, we've already had discussions on like non-negotiables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are your non-negotiables and everything else? And I think one of the greatest things, the commonality, is like just talk to me softly. You know, like everything ain't gotta be an end all, be all, whatever. And talk to me softly.
Don't lie to me.
But yeah, and then but I just feel like, and people, why we having these conversations, and we're putting ourselves out there, we're putting our lives out there. There's gonna be hurt feelings. Yes, I get it, but these are our experiences, and I think that's important for people to understand. It's like, yeah, you might have been a part of that experience, but at the end of the day, this is our take on our experiences, just like you're gonna have your take on these experiences. But maybe someone else in there is sitting here like, dang, this, that, whatever, whatever. They think their situation is abnormal or whatever. They can take something from these conversations and be like, hey, apply it, don't apply it, and learn from our stupidity too. Because we got some stupid moments. We got some crazy moments. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, yeah.
You can do dumb shit and it's not over. You can make all the all the terrible decisions. You can misjudge it. You can spend decades in a relationship with someone.
How long?
Still
decade.
Over a decade. I'm just gonna go over a decade. I shall not let the world know how long it took me to figure out my sanity.
But it's all good because you figured it out, and look at you now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what they say? I used to say 3 times the charm.
That's what I said. The 3rd time's the charm, and then I was like, you know what they say? Put your foot in your mouth or whatever.
Maybe you gotta be like, well, maybe the 4th time is the 4th time, maybe. The charm.
Then I'm like, that's gonna be a whole nother topic or whatever. Like, why get married to begin with? Like, what is the purpose of getting married? That's a whole nother.
Don't even do that because we'll have to start doing.
Look, I'm write that down. Look, hold on, look, y'all, man. I couldn't even figure out how to use my new pen, but you gotta push this thing.
Say. I don't know what happened to Danny, y'all, but y'all stay real, stay random, and we out.